and to see the testimony of the people that you have worked with and that you have mentored. And leadership is all about not just what you accomplish, but how you help others accomplish, as Adele said. And that's a legacy that you're going to have and continue to have, and that will be passed on, I believe, from generation to generation of people in LA San and its department. So I want to thank you so much for your service. I'm going to ask you, not a question, I'm going to ask you to become involved in a project that we have between our city of Los Angeles and the city of Manila. It's our LA Pasig River Sister River Committee that is also part of our Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Sanitation. And like you do and what we've done at sewer, maybe there's an opportunity for us to bring closer our collective cities through these great rivers, as we're bringing back the LA River, and that the Pasig River also needs rehabilitation. We need you, Mario Dimson. So your retirement should be filled with continued service to both nations and to your family. I really appreciate you folks being here. Great timing so that you and your asawa can ride off into the sunset and travel around. But I see that your son and daughter are here too, and I know that they have the core values that you and your family have given them. So thank you so much. Maraming salamat, sir, at mabuhay po kayo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacinto. Commissioner Rivas.
Congratulations and thank you for your service. You know, what stood out to me the most was that you developed people around you and served as a mentor. I think that's really important, especially for our department and our city, to continue to have the great services that you provide. And I really appreciate that you took time to do that. And it's evident by the people that are here and your family that are proud of you. So thank you so much for your service, and I look forward to seeing you involved with Commissioner Jacinto and anything else you choose to do. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. And also, sir, I would just say congratulations to you for your service to the city of Los Angeles. You know, in fact, with Commissioner Jacinto's leadership on the issue, your relationship with us never quite ends. Which is terrific and a great thing for us. You know, it is and it was wonderful hearing about the very diverse and exciting career path that you have had. The only question would be any plans on what you do next? Have you made any decisions yet? And especially regarding the exciting retirement that sounds like it's happening in just a few more weeks.
Well, I wasn't really thinking about it. The first thing is, of course, to go to Manila and stay there longer than the 2 or 3 weeks we used to do. Maybe this time it's going to be about 2 to 3 months. So it's going to be something different. I hope the people there won't get tired of us after 3 months. But and then after that, I don't know. Maybe I'll wait for another friend in the city to retire, and we can put up a band ourselves. So. And we can play in church choirs, and I don't think we can do it as an income-generating profession. So.
Well, I wish you only the best in your retirement. Thank you for sharing your 15 years, at least, of your amazing career with us and the difference that you made for us here in the city of Los Angeles. These always are bittersweet for us because we are excited for our employees to move on to a healthy, exciting, and enjoyable retirement. But we lose that institutional knowledge to a certain degree. And that's always a challenge for us with the bureaus within the Department of Public Works and throughout our city government. But it also opens up an opportunity for more of the young people that we recruit to come in to have a chance to hone the skills that they learn from you. So we appreciate your service, sir. Thank you, and congratulations to you and to your family. All right, so thank you, sir.
Thank you all so much.
We will we'll take just a brief recess on our agenda. Mr. Dimson, we can do a photograph with you and your family, and then we'll come back on our voting agenda this morning. While we're getting ready for that, sir, we have students visiting from... Oh, wonderful. Okay, great. Well, give us just a moment, and then we'll get a little update from them, and then we'll be right back.
Okay, nice to meet you. And we are from Beijing, a middle school.
Yes, just 1 second.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Hi. So we're the Board of Public Works. We oversee the Department of Public Works. We sit every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning in these amazing chambers, which are also used a lot when we're not here for filming of television shows and movies. A big part of the entertainment, a lot of entertainment history here as well. We oversee the bureaus of sanitation, street services, street lighting, engineering, and contract administration. So, quite frankly, we're the infrastructure department in the city of Los Angeles. Much of what we do here, obviously, is through public hearing. So the public has the opportunity to participate as well. And we love it when we see student groups that visit us from literally all over the world in what is the most visited city hall in the United States of America. So thank you. Tell us a little bit about your group.
Okay, we are very impressed by this beautiful building, and also by this open debate or open discussion of the public works, right? Okay, and we are actually students from Beijing, and they are middle school students, 13 to 14 years old.
Wow.
And I think they must be very excited to come here, okay? Students, let's say hello. Say hello, okay? Okay, so I think they must be very impressed by all this, okay? And thank you for giving us this chance to learn about you. Okay,
well, thank you very much. Thank you for visiting. Enjoy your time in City Hall, and especially enjoy your time in Los Angeles.
Okay, thank you. We will.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Agenda item number 1, Bureau of Engineering Construction Services contract, Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant, Liquid Oxygen Tank, number 2 rehabilitation project, recommending that the board first authorize the city engineer to use Cisco, which is a construction services contract, not a company. I always have to clarify that. And to issue task work orders to the contractor for an amount not to exceed $450,000 for the HWRP Liquid Oxygen Tank number 2 rehabilitation project. Ms. So, welcome.
Good morning. Amy So from the Bureau of Engineering's Environmental Engineering Division. We're here for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Liquid Oxygen Tank number 2 rehabilitation. And as President James said, we're requesting authorization to utilize Cisco, which is an acronym that stands for Construction Services Contract. For reference, it's a 3-year contract with a competitively selected contractor. It has a cost ceiling of $12 million, and it's used for wastewater and environmental environmental related projects that are relatively small in size and urgent in nature, and work is issued to this contractor as the projects are identified. So it's interesting to note that at Hyperion there is actually a plant within the wastewater treatment plant, and this is called the cryogenic facility, which is an oxygen generating plant. The cryogenic facility was constructed in 1993 and 94 as part of the conversion to full secondary treatment. And air is compressed at an adjacent facility and sent to the cryogenic facility's air filters. After the air is filtered, it's cooled to approximately negative 300 degrees Fahrenheit using what look like giant refrigerators. And this cooling process allows the oxygen and the nitrogen in the air to separate out in liquid form. And once the oxygen and nitrogen are separated out, they're stored in tanks. The oxygen is vaporized and it's used in gaseous form for the aeration process, which is part of the full secondary treatment. It's called the activated sludge process. Liquid oxygen tank, which is liquid oxygen is referred to as LOX in the industry. There's 2 of those tanks for the storage of liquid oxygen, and the tank number 2 is what we're rehabilitating. You can see an image of it in figure number 1, which was passed around. Liquid oxygen tank number 2 is a double-walled pressure vessel, like a thermos, so there's one tank inside of another tank. The outer tank sits on a 10-foot high raised foundation. The tank itself is about 40 feet high, and it has a base diameter of 48 feet. The inner tank holds about 320,000 gallons at negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's under pressure. And there's about 4 feet of space between the 2 tanks. In that space between the tanks, there's insulation and there's a continuous nitrogen purge to keep everything nice and cold. The second image, figure number 2, shows the pressure relief systems at the top of the tank. The one that's larger, that has like a gold tone to it and some gray assemblies on top, that's to relieve the pressure of the inner tank. And the shorter, stubbier one that has the white paint and the silver domes, that is to relieve the pressure from the space between the 2 tanks. So those did not pass routine testing, and based upon an assessment, they are too severely corroded to repair. The tank was emptied and it's taken out of service. There's also corrosion apparent on the outer shell of the tank, and there are cracks and deteriorating concrete on the stairway platform. There's a spiral staircase that wraps around the back of the tank, so that's pretty damaged. The scope of this project is to procure and install the pressure relief systems for the top of the tanks and to repair the corroded areas on the outer shell, as well as repair the concrete deterioration. The cost of the project is not to exceed $450,000, and that includes a 20% contingency. And it's essential to utilize Cisco, the construction services contract for this project, because of the relatively small size and urgent nature of the project. The plan is for the Bureau to issue task work orders to the contractor to procure the equipment, install it, and to do the rehabilitation. And that would be too time-consuming to do under a conventional bid and award process. Also, Hyperion requires 2 liquid oxygen tanks. One needs to be in service at all times, and the other one is a backup. But the plan for this winter is to shut down the cryogenic facility for a short period of time to transition the control systems from the old control systems to the new. And so it will be essential to have 2 tanks with reliable service during that time. So we're recommending that the board authorize the use of Cisco for this project.
Well, once again, Ms. So, you don't leave me much room for questions. You're just a terrific presenter. Commissioner Ascento.
President James, I second that. That's just very efficient, and thank you for explaining very technical things in layperson's terms for the public record, Amy, so I appreciate that too. It's clear that the rationale for the Cisco urgent, while we are repairing, there's one tank that's going to be in service, correct?
Right. Tank number 1 is in service now.
Okay.
And so we can't do anything to tank number 1 until there's a future plan to rehab tank number 1 and to rehab the rest of the cryogenic facility, but we can't really look inside tank number 1 or do anything to it right now until tank number 2 is put back in service.
Right, and then once we fix tank number 2, and then both of them will be taken offline to switch over controls, you said?
The whole facility in the winter, there's a plan to shut down everything while the switchover of the control system goes from the old control system, which is manufactured by, I think, Westinghouse, and it's going to be a new control system that's a Honeywell system.
How long is that shutdown or that transition period?
The projected transition time is about 4 weeks' time.
So in that period of 4 weeks, how will we get the aeration?
So the plant will have to rely on a combination of the liquid oxygen that will be stockpiled in 2 tanks, as well as purchasing some outside liquid oxygen.
So we're going to continue operations as you'll be stockpiled from reserves and brought in, sourced from the outside.
Right. So the plant will still operate during the shutdown of the cryogenic facility.
Great. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you. Anything further? All right. I don't have anything at all. Thank you. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1, seconded by Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? Without objection, we will adopt agenda item number 1. Any issue sending number 1 forthwith? We will send number 1 forthwith. Ms. So, thank you. Terrific. Appreciate it. Have a nice weekend.
Okay, thank you. You as
Thank you.
well.
Agenda item number 3 is, we have our speaker card in on number 3. So let me read number 3 into the record. Specifications have been submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. This is in Council District 11 for the Argo Drain Sub-Basin Facility Project. The estimate's $23,435,933, and the bid receipt date is Wednesday, September 13th, 2017. And I'm going to do my best, sir, with your name for the record. Sharkar Etskarzadeh. You can let me know how well I did. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, President James, members of the board, representatives of the bureaus. My name is Dr. Shahryar Eftekarzadeh. I am a 30-year professional with 27 years of consultant services as a professional engineer, and I'm here to advise against the authorization of Argo Dish project to advertise for bid. And the reasons for that I've already submitted in writing.
Yes, we have them.
Yes, and if I may be permitted to just go over them briefly to make sure that they're heard and understood.
So you're not a party in the action, so the time is running, so
Yes.
Go ahead.
So this is Argo Drain, and it's an entirely permeable ditch with sandy material. Now the purpose of this project is to infiltrate. The entire scope is to divert water from this ditch and to infiltrate water in the constructed basin. Okay. Now the technical issues that I have with this is that in the design of this project, the natural infiltration in this ditch has been totally ignored. So from the design perspective, this might as well be concrete. In fact, it might as well be directly, all the tributaries will be directly delivered to the diversion structure that is to be constructed here. So this is a grave omission, and I have done an independent sensitivity analysis for this project. I've presented you with the results of that sensitivity analysis. They show that the actual natural infiltration into this drain have a huge impact on the project size and on the effect that the project is expected to have. This project is intended to limit the number of discharges to 17 per year. Okay, so we have 33 rainy days per year. And
2
this
minutes.
is supposed to-
Thank you, sir. Mr. Saldin, John? John, I'm assuming, I have just some leading questions. Sorry if it sounds like it's a courtroom, but you know my background. So I'm assuming that the reason that I even have a name, yours, today, on the agenda item simply to submit specifications for the invitation of bids is because you were aware of the issues that were raised by our speaker. Is that correct?
That is correct, and I am the project manager.
Okay. And I have, in fact, the speakers, and I'm only calling him the speaker, I like to use last names, but I don't want to butcher his last name. The speaker's written communications to the board indicate that he has been in communications, it doesn't say directly which bureaus, but I'm going to assume it's with your team based on his statements, and that's since August 2016. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the so having with the bureau having essentially a year to review and consider those issues, does the bureau still confirm that the project is ready simply to with the specifications to submit for the solicitation of bids?
Yes, we do. We did review the input from Mr. Shariar. We did discuss it with him, and we still recommend the item before you today.
Okay. Those are the questions that I have. Anybody else have any questions? Commissioner Davis.
In terms of the issue here, what is the cause that our complainant is presenting as you understand it, and what is our response to his complaint?
As I understand it, Mr. Shariar does have some background on this project. He was involved with the design team, a consulting design team, probably close to 10 years ago. He does have some knowledge of it, and he does have some innovative ideas for stormwater diversion, and he is bringing those ideas to the city as a suggestion. And they are. I do believe that we did believe that they are innovative. We also believe that they're unproven, and they would delay the project, and they would. Basically, we have some concerns about them that we have identified, and without going into all of that, but that is our understanding. That is why I believe that Mr. Shariar is here today.
From his 10 years of prior experience, he has raised some concerns, I guess, from those 10 years. Are we aware of what his 10-year prior experience is with this project or with this site?
Yes, I may have to brush up on that,
Sure.
Commissioner Davis.
Yeah, just conceptually. I'm not asking now without you having appropriate notes for you to be very specific. We're just talking conceptual
Sure,
knowledge
absolutely.
now, not specifics.
Yes, I believe he was on one of the consulting subcontractors sub-consultants, I should say, to the prime consultant on this project about 10 years ago, and I believe that he was on the design team, and so that was his knowledge. I don't, and then as I recall, he was at some point, whatever happened, he was no longer on the design team.
Did he ever express to you in your conversation, if we may have had a conversation with him about it, of any issues and concerns that came up during that 10-year tenure that are the motivating factor for his presentation of complaints today? Did something happen 10 years ago on this particular site or project that causes him to challenge us in terms of our goal for this particular project today that you know of?
Well, I do know that the innovative ideas that he has, they are his own ideas. I believe they're proprietary, and so there may be a benefit to himself if the city would consider his ideas. In terms of anything that may have happened, I believe it's a bit of an evolution. I believe that his concepts have come on board. It's kind of later, and 10 years ago, his concepts actually were not identified at all. And I think that as obviously in the stormwater industry, there's new things that come up from time to time, and I believe that his innovative concepts have come up fairly late in the game. However, he still had the knowledge of the project from 10 years ago, and I think he put two plus two together, and he approached the city with this innovative, with his ideas.
So perhaps would it be realistic to say that he would be available to assist us if we allowed him to go through the appropriate process in a project like this?
Well, you know, we have a selected design consultant that has sufficient, as far as we're concerned, sufficient resources for us. We've been working closely with AECOM,
Sure.
which has got you know, that's a worldwide consulting firm.
Sure.
We are not looking for additional support, but we did. He solicited us, and we did review it from that perspective. And going on, if we wanted to, yes, I do believe, yes, if we had an interest, that we could outreach further. Unfortunately, we're pretty late in the game right now. We're moving into construction, and therefore, that wouldn't be our recommendation.
Give me the information. Okay, good. So he did express an interest in working with us. And obviously, this particular project, we have already identified someone. But one of the potential motivating factors for his interest about expressing his concern is not only what he perceives to be the safety on one hand, but on the other hand, him potentially offering services to help us to develop this project to a level of satisfaction from his perspective, is what we kind of have reviewed in terms of his involvement and communication with us to date. Is that pretty accurate?
Yes, and that would be my assumption. I would have, you know, that's really his motivations. I don't know completely, but that would be my assumption, yes.
Okay, and so then I would just conclude by saying that then his issues that he has raised concerns about, you're telling the board that you don't foresee, based upon our work, any challenge to compromise the quality of the work that we're going to do on this. Obviously, he's raised a concern, and we have a responsibility to explore a concern brought to us. Even in fact, if we think from this side of the table that it's not legitimate, we have to at least explore the possibilities, and that's the purpose of me and you communicating right now. And I want to establish that what he has presented, as you understand it, does not present a problem in the quality of the work and the decision that we're making on behalf of the city on this particular matter, as you understand it.
Yeah, you know, I believe his concerns are perfectly valid concerns of the city spending too much money. I think as part of his presentation is the city could be spending less money on a project, on another project, and that's certainly a valid point. And we did look into that. However, we didn't agree with that.
Now, he also seemingly raised some issue about the safety of this project too, I think, in some regards, that we wouldn't be getting the best for our money, and secondly, we would not be achieving our goal on the project with the money that we are spending. Is that what you understand?
I think that does relate to the one of the important things that I would like just to spend 1 minute on it.
Sure,
is a general basis, and indeed the discussion involved that there may be 17 days, 17 large rainstorms during the course of a winter where the diversion would infiltrate and our project would kick in and infiltrate that water and collect that runoff.
Sure.
So that's not very many days. 17 days does not sound very much. I have to agree with that. But I need to point out that one of the design criteria for this project is to allow for future hardening of that Argo ditch. It is a soft bottom ditch today, and we understand that. However, in the future development of the airport, we did not want to size this facility so that if they do cover the ditch up, channelize it into a storm drain or other means, we would still have sufficient capacity of this project to collect and divert that entire runoff from a hardened ditch.
Did we share with AECOM, who is the alleged contractor on the project, the issues and concerns that have been raised by the complainant as they've been presented to us?
Yes, we did.
And what was their response?
They did respond. I could actually provide that to you, Commissioner. The basic response is just exactly what I have told you today. We have reviewed these ideas. They are unproven. They're not demonstrated yet. And to allow for the hardening of this channel, it would not meet the design criteria that AECOM has discussed to us. So, I mean, I'd be happy to give you their exact response, but that is briefly. their response and
Well,
review.
I think it's important that you did communicate the concern to them. We want to make sure on our side of the policy end that we have done diligence to make sure that we have explored every possible challenge to this project and that we're taking seriously our responsibility to make sure that the decisions made on behalf of the city are in the city's best interest. And we know and we believe usually that that is not a problem from the Bureau, and we want to support the Bureau. And yet at the same time, we want to do diligence. So having spoken to you, having gotten on the record that you talked to AECOM about these concerns, and that AECOM assured you in their discussion that the concerns that have been raised are not a major issue for us achieving the goal that we're setting out to do, is the kind of thing that we want to know the answer to. And I'm glad that you have put that on the record, but I'm equally glad that we have explored the possibilities of any concern on behalf of the city. So I thank you for your communication on this
Absolutely,
issue.
thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Rivas. I'm sorry, Commissioner Rivas turned loud. Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. And I want to thank Commissioner Davis for the questioning, John. This is important because when a party sort of alleges grave omissions, that's something that we as a city in our stewardship need to respond to. And in the course of your answering Commissioner Davis' questions, I believe that you kind of were there in terms of can you a little bit more succinctly address the issue of grave omissions in either our scoping, the scope of work, the specifications? Can you speak to that, John?
Yes, yes, I can, Commissioner. The grave omissions, there was addressed primarily, I think, to the assumption that Mr. Sherriar has expressed that the Argo ditch as a soft bottom ditch will divert and infiltrate stormwater on its way to our project. We do understand that. We have taken stormwater samples at the diversion point. That is, I believe, not a grave omission, but that it has been addressed. And I'm going to say that I think that is the primary omission that is presented. Other than that, I believe is the cost. I think I'm pretty sure it all comes down to the cost that Mr. Sherriar is indicating that our project at some $23 million city engineer estimate is too costly for the city, and he is suggesting that alternative measures could be implemented to get the same benefit at a lower cost. And again, we have considered that, and our recommendation still stands to advertise this project.
Great. Thank you, John.
And to still advertise the project, John, at the same amount.
Yes.
The bids could come in lower.
Yes.
Competition. It's a marketplace. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make a... You have something else?
No.
Oh, okay. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3, seconded by Commissioner Jacinto. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Any issue sending it forthwith? All right, we'll send it forthwith. Thank you both. Commissioner Davis.
Yeah, we have today, and we're very fortunate to have the Links of Los Angeles that are here. I guess Janice Murray from Sanitation is a member of that group. And also the young ladies who are here today, can you give us an introduction to who they are? A group of young ladies who are a part of their, I guess, a leadership program for the Links. Can you introduce us?
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. Thank you for having us. What you have here are 17 young women from all across Los Angeles, predominantly from council districts 8, 9, and 10, some in 15, and some in council 4. We are part of the Los Angeles chapter of the Links Leadership Institute and Cotillion Program. It is our 65th anniversary. So they're here having a legislative day. We've been in council chambers and wanted to pay a visit to our board proceedings. Thank you for having us, and they are all 11th and 12th graders.
Wow.
Wow. Well, thank
you.
you so much. And Attorney Murray, we would like to take a picture with them in the back of our hall here with the members of the Board of Public Works, our president and our esteemed fellow commissioners. We'd love to take a picture with you, and we welcome you here to the Board of Public Works, and thank you so much for seeing how your city works. Thank you.
Tanya Durrell, thank you.
Oh, and Tanya.
As well. Thank you for your work with this group, obviously.
As always.
And we hope, just our brief message to all of you. Okay, we have juniors and seniors, right? So does that mean, because we're in the summer, does that mean you're entering your junior year and entering your senior year? Okay. So which ones, juniors, raise your hand. Okay, and seniors, raise your hand. Okay, well, so you are in an amazing, I know you're probably tired of hearing this. I believe you're in an amazing time of your life. I still remember, it was a very long time ago, but I still remember that period of time in my life. And I was fortunate, like you, to be involved in our school through essentially legislative days where we visited city halls and our state capitals and things like that. And it made such an impression on me that I ended up, it took me a while to get here, but I ended up in public service. And I only make our pitch to you like we do when amazing young people like yourselves come to visit us. We hope that you have such a great experience that you think of public service when you think of your career path as you begin to enter the later years of your young education. Public service is an amazing career path, and people get to it at different stages. I was in public service a bit when in the early 90s, and then I went back to the private sector for 20 years and then came back to public service in 2013. So it's something that you can move in and out of, but I think I would recommend it for everyone that you spend some of your time in your career in public service. Commissioner Rivas.
Thank you for visiting us and for wanting to learn about your city. This is great that you're here. And like President James was saying, public service, I think a lot of times young people maybe don't know what that means, but if most of the people in this room are engineers, scientists, accountants, attorneys, so they started off with a career path, and you can still use whatever you study to then serve your city. There's not a major public service necessarily, and you don't have to major in something to then be here. You can just take any of your interests and eventually, work in government. So I just wanted to just make that clear. You don't have to study political science if you don't want to. You could take any interest and then eventually end up in public service. Like I studied engineering, and then now I'm on the board. So it's really great to have people with diverse backgrounds in government. So thanks.
Mr. President, as we go to take pictures, I just want to acknowledge to Adele that I've noticed that his staff seems to be working with young people. You had Michael Simpson here with the interns, and now you have a group of young ladies from Los Angeles as well. And I just want to put a shout out to the other bureaus in Public Works. I want to see you guys come in here with the young people that you're working with so that the Board of Public Works can see who they are. I know engineering has an intern program, but I've not seen them come here yet. And I know that street lighting has a program, and I'm looking forward to their visit. So thank you, Adele, for what your staff is doing. Appreciate you.
I met at least one of the young folks working at street services in the last couple of days. I have to speak up. All right, so we'll take a brief recess for a photo with the group. We'll do it back there, and then we'll come right back on our voting agenda. All right, here we go. It's a Friday morning here at the Board of Public Works. Let's see. We did number one, I think we have number two still to do. Agenda item number 2, Council District 15, revised task order solicitation number 102, David Evans and Associates Design Services for the Jordan Downs Redevelopment Century Boulevard Extension Project, recommending that the board authorize the city engineer to issue a revision of the task for solicitation number 102 to David Evans and Associates to increase the budget authority by $180,909.11. That's from $305,380.89 to $486,290 to complete the design of the project. Mr. Mungra, good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is Ramnik Mangra. I'm with the Bureau of Engineering Street Program. This is Century Boulevard Extension Project. Basically, it extends the Century Boulevard from Grape Street to Alameda Street. Century Boulevard Extension Project, this project provides basically the backbone for the development of the Jordan Down urban village. So it provides the backbone for the utilities. This project basically provides the backbone for the utilities that it needs for the development. And conventionally, typically we develop the infrastructure and then go ahead and build the street so it has all the infrastructure, all the utilities in it. In this case, the infrastructure design or the development of the housing is going in parallel with the street design. And therefore, as they come up with the requirements, new requirements, the design is changing constantly, and that is causing a lot of changes in the scope. And that is the reason we are here to ask for additional money for the design. Also, this project is from early on has been expedited by the Mayor's Office, Council Districts, and Housing Authority of Los Angeles for the Jordan Down Urban Village development. And because of this expeditious nature of this project, BOE made some concession to the Mayor's Office and Council Office and Housing Authority, and we expedited the project. And that's the reason we were able to award the project sooner when they wanted us to award. And that required changes to the design at the latter stage. And that's why this board report request to authorize the city engineer to issue revision to the task orders solicitation number 102 to DEA to increase the budget authority by $180,909.11 from $305,380.89 to $486,290 to complete the design of the task order solicitation number 102. The combined task order solicitation number 8 and 102, the total amount will be $920,569 for David Evans and Associates for their design services. The DB participation, city's DB participation level requirement was 6.01%. The contractor pledge DB participation 7.74% for this task 102, and DB participation of 10.1% for the combined task 102 and task 8. Are there any questions?
I don't have any questions. Commissioner Cinto, we'll start with you.
Thank you, President James. Remnick, thank you. I just wanted to ask if this increase in TAS 102 is going to do it for the design phase.
Yes, this completes, after awarding this amount, it will complete the design phase.
Complete the design phase.
I'm not asking for any contingency or anything else. This is it.
Okay. Thank you. I just needed that clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent question, Commissioner Cinto. Anything further? Thank you. So we won't hear any more on this on the design phase then. So proceed accordingly, gentlemen. Commissioner Cinto's made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2. I'll second it along with Commissioner Rivas. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? We will send number 2 forthwith. Thank you both. Agenda item number 8. But before we do that, is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from the meeting of Monday, July 10th, 2017 by Commissioner Rivas, Any objection? Without objection, we will approve those meeting minutes. Agenda item, Dr. Campos thought I was going to forget that. Moving to agenda item number 8, our oral report on the stormwater capture from the Bureau of Sanitation. Kevin Ho, welcome, sir. Yes.
All right. Good morning, President James, Commissioner, Executive Officer, and Bureau Representatives, City Attorney. My name is Kevin Ho. I'm from LA Sanitation Watershed Protection Division, and I'll be giving you an update on our projects that happened this quarter. So next slide. So as you know, the projects throughout the city range between institutional, low-impact development projects, distributed green streets, and larger regional projects. Of course, each watershed is different, and through our enhanced watershed management plan, we have a great number of projects throughout the city. So starting with the projects that have just been completed this quarter, the first project is Laurel Canyon Boulevard Green Street. This project was finished construction in end of May. We're currently closing out the project, and we have a ribbon cutting ceremony estimated in September.
Oh, there's one coming up in September, Kevin?
The date isn't set yet. We have it planned to be sometime in September. It could be a little bit later, depending on how details go.
Okay.
Our next project just completed was the University Park Neighborhood Rain Gardens. This project was a distributed project of placing these rain gardens along University Park, which is a little bit south of USC. So this project also just completed about a month ago, and we're currently closing out the project. Next, these next two projects, the first one is Penmar Water Quality Project Phase 2. This project, the Phase 2 portion is the beneficial reuse part of the project, and also to fix the problems from Phase 1. So construction's underway for this. Is about 50% complete. Next slide. And same with Temescal. These are both working, I guess, side by side, kind of in parallel. Both about 50% complete, and both Phase 2 is the beneficial reuse part. So these next projects, this one just started. The groundbreaking was in May of 2017. The Albion Riverside Greenway project, park project, is located next to the LA River that diverts flow from a storm drain to ballast wells and vegetated basins for groundwater infiltration. So water flow will be diverted from the LA River and all be treated on site, and no returning flows into the LA River. Again, the groundbreaking was in May 2017, and construction has just started. Next, Argo Drain hasn't been started yet. I think the estimated construction completion date we have right now is estimated April of 2019. As you heard from the previous items, this project is a diversion project for groundwater infiltration, and right now it's in the bid and award phase. Rory Shaw Wetlands Park. This is a relatively new project, and we're currently in the design phase, and we'll currently be getting 90% design plans at the end of summer. Next two are grade streets. The first one is Lancashire Grade Street. So this is we're working in collaboration with Metro and other transportation agencies, and we're working on the stormwater part of implementing BMPs and SCMs, stormwater control measures, along the street. So we have two great streets. The first one, Lancashire. The next one is Van Nuys. These are both entering the pre-design phase and are estimated to be completed by December 2018. And so this is an example of the low impact development projects that private developers come to our LID counter in order to get the plan checked. As you can see, there's a lot of different type of low impact development that developers have to comply with. And lastly, this is a graph that we have been working on to estimate the amount of capture that our projects have been, or how well our projects have been performing. We estimate based on the last rain season from October to April, recording the amount of rain that happens over our project area and calculating or estimating the amount of capture we got. So this is a kind of a lot on a graph, but the top side shows the rainfall and the bottom is the stormwater capture for our projects. And I guess to kind of sum it up is that we got above average rainfall this year, and we exceeded the historical past 130-year cumulative average. And that's the red line shown. And so through this, we are showing that our projects have been working throughout the rain season, and because of the huge amount of rain this past year, they have been performing well and are exceeding our expectations. And lastly, thank you for your time, and I'm available for any questions.
Commissioner Rivas.
Thank you, Kevin, for this overview of all of the stormwater capture projects that you're working on. It's great to know that they're happening all over the city, and just learning about the different types of either low impact development or things that residents can do is great to see. I have a question about the Laurel Canyon Boulevard project, and mainly because I got just recently received a request from a resident through the new council office that their section, I think these are bioswales, right, on Laurel Canyon?
Yeah, correct.
Right, so their section, at least the photos that I received, it's all bioswale, right? So when they park, there's issues of accessibility. You know, they have a son with disabilities, so when they got out of their car, they have to step in and then kind of climb out of it. And so my question was, in terms of accessibility, you know, on our sidewalks, you know, what type of considerations are we taking for this type of project?
Yeah, so our Laurel Canyon project is I guess you can say it's a pilot project of testing out
these yeah, because it's a whole section of Laurel Canyon, right?
Yeah, we have some sections that are pretty long. We have received the comments from the residents about the length. What we hope right now is that we're just trying to find solutions to appease to the residents.
So you're doing it kind of by each home or each household that
Yeah,
they hear from?
to the maximum extent possible. It's hard to retrofit
No, I can imagine, because you've just completed it, right?
Completed
And
it.
you're about to do a ribbon cutting.
So I understand the residents' problems, and we're trying to find some solutions. We have received some comments on that it's kind of deep sometimes. So we are currently looking to solutions for either painting the swales, putting up rails, different kind of things that we can think of. So yeah, currently we are troubleshooting, I guess, trying to optimize the project.
Yeah, no, because I just heard about it this week from the resident. I've shared it with your team, but it was an elderly couple that is having issues, and it's right in front of their house. I mean, there's no other option the way it's set up on their block. There's not a piece that they can just walk over. So
yeah, actually, right now, one of my coworkers, Gordon, is out there at Laurel Canyon talking to residents, trying to see how we can figure it out.
Okay, yeah. So thank you for doing that. I know that this is new and this is something that we're working on, and I think we'll learn from these projects, for the next ones.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes we don't think about these issues probably. So thank you for working on that.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Rivas. Commissioner Jacinto.
Thank you, President James. Commissioner Rivas, thank you for asking that question too, in terms of the differences in the grade, accessibility, safety issues, just kind of at first glance. And the context is this is a great program, stormwater capture, in keeping with One Water and our mayor's policy of sustainability. So Ken, thank you and the Bureau for doing this. Can we get a report back on this in a quarter to see what mitigation, what we're able to do to accommodate accessibility? Could you report back to us, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Davis.
The University Park Neighborhood Rain Gardens project, this is near the USC area, right?
Right.
Good, good. Now, could you just briefly explain to me the value and how Rain Gardens works in this area? How the Rain Garden project, how did this work? Could you just briefly give me an overview?
The rain gardens are a sort of small bioswale-ish retention area. So these are located, I think we have about 30 along in University Park.
Sure.
So these are designed to divert dry weather stormwater
Okay.
off from the streets and into these bioswales. So we found a bunch of locations where, projected locations in the watershed where flow would go by. And I guess we kind of just wanted to create a more green space in the area,
Sure.
make it look better, and also provide a stormwater benefit.
Great. Well, I want to just make an observation overall. I'm very happy about what we're doing to educate and increase the awareness of stormwater capture in Los Angeles in general, but in particular, I'm very pleased that we have specifically implemented projects in South LA. And not just because I'm a graduate of USC, but particularly it's really pleasing to know that we've got something in the University Park area that we can count on. So thank you so much for your work.
Thank you.
It's obviously getting close to football season here. So, I do note that for our third group today, we have some young folks. So who's here? Oh, great. Excellent. Hey, everyone. So you probably already know this, but we're the Board of Public Works. We are the public oversight body from the community, although we're the one commission that's here full time. We sit every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 10 a.m. in these amazing chambers where we're now at the end of our agenda, as you can kind of tell by the echo. But we oversee the Department of Public Works, 5 bureaus and what I'll say are 3 divisions. The 5 bureaus, the Bureau of Sanitation and Street Services, Street Lighting, Contract Administration, and Engineering, and the 3 divisions would be the Film and Television Division, the Petroleum Administration Division, and the Office of Community Beautification. So it's really the city's infrastructure department with our Bureau of Sanitation in many ways, the Environmental Protection Agency for the city in partnership with the Department of Water and Power. And we work all the time with Council District 11, as we do with all of our council offices. As a matter of fact, our agenda items are, we divide up by council district. So meaning that there's always a notification as to which council district we're working in. We were just getting an update from our Bureau of Street Service, from the Bureau of Sanitation, on stormwater projects in and around the city of Los Angeles, and we're just wrapping that up. So welcome, and thanks for stopping in today. I always like to tell groups that really come. We had a group from Beijing even this morning that came in. We have people from all over the world, but just some facts about the room. This is one of the most filmed individual rooms in the city of Los Angeles that's not on a soundstage somewhere for on-location filming. So it's been in many television shows and movies. Is most notably, that always gets repeated, this was the courtroom area for A Few Good Men. You Can't Handle the Truth, although we like to certainly get to the truth every day here. It has been recently the White House conference room in Veep. It is, which is fun when you see the folks walking around with their earpieces. They're actors, but it looks like Secret Service people. It was the wedding, a church for the wedding in Bones, and was the Supreme Court in the television show Scandal. So it gets shot a lot here, and people always love that aspect. So welcome to Hollywood in your Los Angeles City, in your Los Angeles City Hall. So thanks. And our fourth group for today. No, hey, we're happy to have them. So who else is here? Oh, excellent. So our group from Council District 11 just heard this, but I will repeat. We're the Board of Public Works. We're appointed by the mayor. This is new. Appointed by the mayor, confirmed by the city council. So thank you to Council District 11 for supporting us along the way. We are a full-time oversight board that works with the Department of Public Works. 5 bureaus, 3 divisions. We're the infrastructure department. The 5 bureaus: sanitation, street services, street lighting, engineering and contract administration, and the 3 divisions, petroleum administration, the film and television office, and the Office of Community Beautification. Obviously a lot of infrastructure in the city of Los Angeles, and in many ways the Environmental Protection Agency through our Bureau of Sanitation in partnership, although I would say that the sanitation is the lead, but in partnership with the Department of Water and Power. And the 5 of us come from all different diverse backgrounds and career experiences. And we sit every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning in these incredible chambers that I was just mentioning is one of the most filmed rooms on location in the city of Los Angeles. So lots of TV shows and films. So thank you. And obviously a big part of what we do is really in line with our Mayor's Office of Economic Development as well. That's a great quality of life because of a healthy infrastructure is a nice pathway to increasing economic development and opportunity in the city of LA. So thank you. Anybody else want to say anything? Commissioner Rivas.
No, welcome, Nifty. I'm very familiar with your program, and I know you're about to come up with your own business ideas, and it's going to be part of your classroom. I know the former executive director, Estelle, and so just have followed the program throughout the years and have seen a lot of innovative ideas that come from LA high school students, and some of them have competed nationally, right, and have won for their business ideas. So I hope you really go through it, and I'm sure you'll gain a lot from that program. And also welcome CD11 interns. Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
I wanted to say to Nifty as well, you have come to the right place for opportunities to implement innovative ideas. As we look at the city's infrastructure, there are just so many things. And our leaders from Bureau of Sanitation, as one example, is here today. We just talked about storm water capture and all of the other great things. And all of our bureaus have something interesting from which you can pull something that's innovative for your project. I also would like to thank the Council District 11, because I strongly believe what we ought to be doing in government is having internship programs with those young people in Los Angeles. And so it's very pleasing to see our council office bring their interns here, because you are the city leaders for today, quite actually. And so I'm glad to see that Channel 11, that Council 11 brought their internship program here. And we look forward to others coming here as well to see how the city runs. We believe strongly that that's what we do in public works. We provide the critical services that help to improve the quality of life for our neighborhoods and for our communities. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Cinto.
Thank you, President James. You know, I join my colleagues, everybody, in welcoming NIFTY. I really look forward to hearing and learning about the competition and the entrepreneurial spirit. And so please invite us when the program culminates, and everybody's a winner, because you could always take the things that you develop and apply them future. You know, small businesses are the backbone of really Los Angeles City and LA County in general. So thank you, NIFTY. And the City 11, I have the honor of serving as your representative on this board of Public Works, and I am a resident of City 11 over there by Del Rey. And we know there's a lot of things going on in City 11, right? So you got a lot of stuff to do. So I want to interact with you and see what you think, and appreciate you guys coming out and for this opportunity for them to be present, to serve, and to have future context, because the experience that you have in City 11 now, you could take with you, and you should, and I know you will. So I look forward to coming and connecting with you guys too. Okay?
Great, thanks. You bet, thank you. We'll get back on our agenda item. Mr. Ho. So, anybody else, you done with your questions on this item? So, Commissioner Repenning is not here today. She is off-site on other city business, actually meeting with leadership in the city of New York sanitation. And we had just hosted them recently. They're hosting a delegation from Los Angeles that she is leading. I know that she loves these projects, and we all do. So I can't really do her justice in getting into some of the detail that she does, because she's more familiar with them than I. Just know that we support the work that you're doing. This is where we are. I think we are leaders in the environmental community in this area, although we know, and I know that Adele knows and his team knows, that we still have a lot to do, as does every municipality in the country, but we're excited with the work that you all are doing. A couple of other notes. This isn't your first time, is it?
This is my first time.
This is your first time. Excellent job. I thought it was your first or second time. And the one thing that made me think, I thought, well, I've seen Kevin here before, but then I realized I would have said what I'm about to say to you if it were your first time, and I don't think I've mentioned this. So I still love the fact, and I say this to people whenever I see someone young with the name Kevin, I love the fact that people are still naming their kids Kevin. Although I realize you're now in the professional, but even younger people than us, Kevin, are still getting the name Kevin, which is great. And I went to high school, one of my buddies named Kevin Ho. Yeah, and Kevin Ho's daughter actually went, because I'm an old guy now, they lived in Dallas, and the daughter went to USC. Came out here, and she's already graduated. She was on a music scholarship, but went to USC and is already back doing something back in the Dallas area. But anyway, good job today for your first time. You even got some good questions too.
Yeah, I did.
So enjoy the experience, and we look forward to seeing you again. Adele, thanks for the opportunity and for bringing some of our young folks in. Kevin, we look forward to working with you.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
And anything further? All right, then we'll receive the oral report. Thank you. Dr. Campos, are we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned. Thank you.